When it comes to shooting film at night, there are 3 pieces of advice I want to share that'll help you succeed just a little bit more. Number 1, choose an appropriate film. The higher the ISO, yes, the grainier it gets, but the better it handles low light. So tonight, I'm going to be shooting Cinestill 800T. Now this film, because it's an ISO 800, means it's going to be able to handle the dark a lot better than an ISO 100 film. Tip number 2 is push process your film. In other words, you meter a stop or 2 higher and then tell the lab how many stops you want them to push. So for instance, I'm going to meter tonight 1 stop higher than normal, and then I'm going to tell the lab, hey, push it 1 stop. What this is going to do is it's going to recover a lot of the highlight detail while preserving the shadows as well. So in other words, my highlights aren't going to be completely overexposed. My shadows might be a little underexposed, but that's okay, it's nighttime. And then the third thing, when you are metering, meter towards the lightest part of your scene and then set that to your highlight. There's no reason to meter in the shadows in the dark. It's going to most likely read 0, and that won't give you any data that you can actually use. So meter at the brightest point of your scene and then set everything to that. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jude. Thank you so much for joining me. We're out here in the middle of town with my large format camera and a 6x12 adapter so that I can take some nighttime film photos and teach you how to actually expose things properly so that you don't ruin your film. So our first photo of the evening is going to be a Fancy Freeze. This is a nearby local ice cream shop slash burger joint. Neon sign out front. It's been around for a long time. The nice lights underneath. I think it'll turn out good. So we're framed up just like I want. The sign is on the far right with the bush that's lit up on the side. And then the far left, you've got your edge of the building. If we had any drive-through customers, they'd add some context there. As we've already talked about, one of the tricks to proper exposure in this type of condition on film is to push your film at least 1 stop. So Cinestill is an 800 ISO film, so I'm going to push it, meter it 1 full stop higher. Take your meter and you try to meter into the sky or the ground. Most likely it's going to be a 0. And 0 is a bad reading. It means it's just too dark to really tell. So let's meter something that is lit. Make sure we have a light spot. And right now, right under the hood, that's reading at a 7 2/3. So at f16, or 1 step under f16, we're looking at a 1 second exposure. Now that I know I'm in focus, I know I'm metered up, I'm pushed 1 stop, my settings are all where I need them to be. I'm going to take my ground glass off, just the ground glass, place my film back on, lock it in, my dark slide is out, now we can expose it. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, unfortunately, the 3 tips that I'm sharing in this video are not going to resolve the human error aspect of film. As you should be able to see from this photo, I had a little bit of a light leak. Let me show you kind of what happened real quick. All right, so this is the 4x5 camera that I was using in that video. As you can see, I have it all set up here. So when you take the photo, or when you're ready, after you've got everything locked down, you're ready to go, you would take your ground glass off. I'm gonna keep that nice and safe. then you're supposed to take the adapter. Okay, this is the Dai 6x12 adapter, the one I was using in this video. You're going to clip it in. There's a little ridge here, lines up with the groove here. Place it in, lock it on top and on bottom. At least that's how it's supposed to be. Unfortunately, what I had done, because it was dark out, because you know it's kind of hard to see, I had locked it, and when I felt it stop, I assumed it was good. So there's just the slightest little bit of gap and play in that, and I didn't realize it until it was too late. Human error. The other thing that I noticed that this specific adapter was doing was somehow, I don't know if it's in the pressure points that keep the film nice and tight, it seems to be scraping the negative or the emulsion side of my film. That's why there's these giant blue streaks, parallel lines throughout the entire film roll. And you'll see this, and I've been experiencing this with every roll that I get developed out of this camera or the ones that I develop myself. A lot of things can go wrong when using this adapter. So I don't use it too often, but it is a lot of fun to try to get a panoramic, a 1:2 aspect ratio out of my my 4:5. Saving up for that 6:17 because I'm tired of not really being able to frame things perfectly. I'm tired of the blue streaks or the emulsion scratches, and I'm tired of just messing up the rolls. All right, hopefully that interruption wasn't too jarring. Now I can wind it until I see exposure 3. Okay, now let's scurry on out of here because a lot of cars. Our next ice cream spot is Goodies. This is another very popular location nearby in Hyde Park. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to shoot it from the side or the front. It's a lot of people out and about, so this one's going to be tricky. I might just set my camera up on the dash, point it towards myself, go out there and awkwardly take some pictures. Okay, good. Focus, meter real quick. I'm just gonna skip a lot of this because it's literally just watching me tinker with it. Same rules apply, same concept apply, dealing with those 3 principles of, basically making sure your film is a good stock to be using out in darker light, meaning a higher ISO, metering towards the brightest portion, setting that to your highlights, and push processing. And 2 out of those 3 are done before you start and then after you finish. So really you're watching me meter a highlight. Ooh. That might look cool. One more. This time. Unfortunately, this video is kind of full of human errors. I don't know what happened. I thought I had counted the frames properly, but basically, as you're winding your back, you see numbers opening up in these little windows. And those numbers clue you in on what exposure you're on. You're supposed to use for 6x12 frame 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11. And I thought I was doing that, but I guess because I was in the film making, like the video taking mode, I wasn't really paying attention perfectly. So yeah, several double exposures in this video, which is kind of embarrassing. But I mean, if I meant to do it, it'd be kind of cool because they did turn out pretty cool. But I can't lie, they are just me making a dumb mistake. Would have been so cool. I might have to go back out. So why am I sharing this video? I mean, I could have very easily just been like, make a brand new one, because I tried to film this weeks ago. I got the film back and went, oh no, I did count incorrectly. 2 reasons. One, I really, really like the last few photos. The whole collection is saved, or the whole roll is saved by the last couple photos. And then also, I want to share my successes and my failures. I mean, that's really part of the journey, right? It's not about always getting the perfect shot or always doing things perfectly. It's more about, you know, sharing those learning experiences with all of you. So, yeah, let's jump into the final location here. I kind of want to wait till the moon is high enough in the sky to really get serious about metering. Also want to wait until that car pulls up and they're going to hand food to him. I think that'll look good. I hope I'm not blocking somebody's driveway. Pickup truck. Pickup truck with mattresses. That is going to block everything. May as well check focus. One of the continued struggles of this type of photography is you're working against the business's clock. So last night they closed actually, and all the lights got turned off. And I wasn't going to take pictures of a dark restaurant. So next day, I'm coming back to finish this video, to take another shot. That's why the moon in last couple locations was up in the sky, and now it's rising again. So that killed the illusion. Okay, nice and sharp. The moon is just peeking over, so I'm gonna go a little bit longer. While we're waiting for the moon to rise high enough in the sky and for the mattress truck to get further along so I can get a shot of them handing food over, I'm gonna go ahead and meter. Pick the lightest part, which is right under the awning. Getting about a 10. And that's going to be my highlight. So if I were to shoot this at f8, which is where I'm thinking about going, I only have to take it at 1/15 of a second, pushed one stop. That's not bad. That means I'll be able to freeze the action a little bit. The moon is pretty close to where I want it. Let's get a little bit higher. So I think I'm going to have to take this shot while the moon is where I want it to be. And then take another one when the truck is where I want it to be. So 3, 2, 1. So I actually have 3 more exposures. So I'm going to do another one of this location, try to get a shot of somebody handing food across the window. I'm going to go 8 1/3 aperture and 1/8 of a second shutter, just to see. I want to see if this one's. I just have this instinct that this is going to be too dark at a 1/15 of a second. The right vantage point. They're going to pass the food here any second. Any second. They took payment. Now they're going to pass the food. So I like almost everything about this specific photo. Everything lined up nicely. The Cinestill did a really good job capturing the glow of the lights. The moon was in a really cool spot. Everything lined up in this one except for the cars. I don't like that there's 2 cars, and I don't like that they're modern cars, but just hang tight. And it is at this moment that a cool vintage VW van pulls up, and that would have made a much cooler subject. So I'm gonna take a third exposure of this exact framing just to get this vehicle in there, which means I'm gonna be hanging out here for a little bit. Oh, it's a Toyota van, even better. Wait, is my luck changing? It is. Yes. Okay, this is happening. Unless this, oh yeah. Okay, this is happening. We got the Toyota. It's really important to me that the elements of the photo are what I want them to be, and I'd much rather have that that Toyota van instead of some fancy new car. It just fits the vibe that I'm going for. So as soon as they're in place and the other one is gone, we're taking the shot. Here we go. They're next. Okay, I know framing's awful, but I gotta move fast. Want to get him handing in the bag of food. And there might even be a flower pot in the way, but we're gonna find out. I just want to get them handing the food bag out. Determination. Oh, here it comes. The window just opened. I don't know why I'm whispering. It's because it's intense. Come on. Pass something to this person. She's hungry. All right, that's the roll. I think you could tell I was pretty excited about that last frame right there. Just everything lined up perfectly. You got the guy passing the food out, and you have the old Toyota bus or van, I'm not sure what we would call it. And most importantly, it's the only one in line, so it doesn't get, there's no distraction from another vehicle. So everything just, wow, it just lined up perfectly. And I actually like the position of the moon better in this one. Very little that I want to complain about. Obviously, there are always issues and there are always things that can be improved, but I am very, very happy with this one. Except for those parallel blue scratches that are just, man, if I could just, I guess I could use AI and erase those, but that's cheating with a roll of film, right? Right?